Hey, today I'm going to teach you how to pull a targeted lead list off of Apollo using their people filter. When you log in, you're going to want to come over here, click people, and you're going to see all the different filters, firmographics right here on the left-hand side. So I'm going to take you through all of the ones that are most relevant. You don't need to worry about some of these. They're not fully built out yet, but I'm going to take you through all of them. I'm going to explain them, showcase different ways of using these filters, and then ultimately show you how to put together a very targeted, segmented lead list. So to start, you want to click on the email status tab. So always click verified. Apollo verifies emails up to a certain guaranteed percentage. I'm not exactly sure what that is off the top of my head, but essentially, all of the emails in Apollo's database are not verified or up to date, meaning that some of the emails are going to be outdated. Maybe they switched emails and they're no longer using that domain at the company, or maybe they're at a completely different company now and the email that's in this database is outdated. So, to mitigate that risk as best as you can, you want to always start by clicking verified emails only. I recommend once you do pull any list from Apollo, you run it through an additional tool like Zero Bounce, which is going to help clean and validate those emails much more accurately. So then when you do upload that lead list to whatever marketing automation tool you're using, you can ensure that you're going to have as low of a bounce rate or a spam trap rate as possible. So that's step one. Step two, you come into job titles. In job titles, there's multiple ways of doing a search. So let's say your ICP that you want to go after is e-commerce and marketing managers at brands. So you want to target e-commerce brands and you want to target those decision makers that are in control or involved in the management of the e-commerce operation. So first way you can do it is by going in here and you can do a handful of different things. So you can do just marketing and you can do just e-commerce. Now, if you put those broad titles in there, it's going to show everybody in Apollo that has either e-commerce or marketing or both in their title. Then what you can do, if you want to do this method, is you can come down here to management level. Most of the time, you're going to want to go after decision makers. So you're going to want to click the following. I keep it to start, manager and above. And depending on how specific I'm looking to get or how condensed my list ends up being, I'll either remove manager if my list is too large, or if it's fine, I'll keep it. And you can pick and choose whatever seniorities or management level you need. If for some reason you only want to go after C-suite or founders and owners, you can only click those and so on. But for this specific example, we're going to do manager and above. So you're still looking at 1.1 million leads. That's obviously way too high of a lead list. And for context, Apollo only lets you export 10,000 leads at a time. So we have to continue to work to get this list more condensed to our ICP. The second way is you can come in here and you can select your management level again. So we'll do manager and above. And then instead of picking the individual job titles, you can come in here and you can do a more broad capture. So under marketing, we're going to select every title that would be involved in that e-commerce process that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to do brand management, advertising, content marketing, demand gen. We'll do e-commerce marketing, of course, marketing analytics, marketing operations, and product marketing. We'll also do search engine optimization, so SEO, and we'll keep it at that for now. Then we'll come up here to C-suite. We'll click into here as well. And we're going to do CMO. I'm going to select operations executive as well, and CFO. Because in most cases, depending on the size of the organization, and we'll get there, those individuals are going to be involved in the decision making of working with an e-commerce agency or using a tool. Conversations around budget and operational changes, those are going to be the people to talk to in many cases. So you can do it this way and you're going to get similar results, right? The list is a little bit smaller, but if you want to do a broad capture and you don't want to miss out on any potential titles within a job function, you can do it this way. Now, the third way I'll show you is similar to that first method. Let's say you want to get very specific titles. Let's say for some reason I just want e-commerce managers. I don't want director. I don't want VP. And let's say I want SEO managers. So you can type the specific title in there that you want to go after. If you know the exact title you want and you only want them to be a certain seniority, you can do it this way as well. For the sake of this example, this is the way I typically do it, and this is what I would recommend. So we're going to go after any individual who has e-commerce or marketing in their title. And then I just want C-suite, VP, head, and director. And then we'll move on to the next filter. Location, almost always, I'm in the United States right now. We don't really do business with other countries at the moment. So United States is going to be another default field that we always select there. Then you're going to come into employee count. Employee count is obviously important. Depending on what your ICP or focus is, if you want to focus on SMB or enterprise, you're obviously going to want to come in here and do this. So for this example, we'll select 21 and above, and we'll go all the way up to, let's say, 5,000 employees. We don't want those massive enterprises, but we want some larger companies. We also want to target those small and medium-sized businesses. So now that we have employees, there's another similar filter that I'll show you that often coincides with that, and that's revenue. So revenue, a lot of times when you're building an ideal customer profile or you have a specific segment of companies that you're going after, a lot of times the company size is not what you're looking at. It's that annual revenue. The annual revenue of a company helps you understand and determine if they can afford your products or services or if they would fit into your normal ICP. So a lot of times you can just go straight to the revenue and you don't need to do the employee count. But if you want to get specific and if for some reason you don't want to target companies with a certain head count, then you can do both. Very easy again in here. For the sake of the example, we can go 5 million upwards of, let's say we want to do 30. So you'll see there's no automatic 30 there. So you can just go in here and just switch that 5 to a 3. Now our list is getting more specific. We were at upwards of 500,000 before, and we're just shy of 40,000. So now as we look through, it's just a quick recap. We're only capturing verified emails. We're going after e-commerce and marketing titles that are director and above in the United States at companies with an employee count of between 20 to 5,000 and an annual revenue of 5 million to 30 million. Next is industry and keywords. Now, I will be transparent. I've been using Apollo for years, and their industries aren't always accurate. If you scroll all the way over here to the right when you're building this list, you can see all of the industries that are showing up on your list. Now, again, a lot of the specific ones like automotive or cosmetic or medical, I have found frequent times when I do pull a list and download it and I cross match the industry that's listed to the industry the company's actually in, there's a lot of discrepancies. So I wouldn't recommend getting too specific with your industries. But again, if you're trying to build a list off of your ICP and you want to only target cosmetics or beauty brands or, whatever the case may be, I can show you how to do that. For this example, again, we want to go after e-commerce brands. So I'm going to think of all of the industries that would most likely have an e-commerce presence. So you can go in here. We'll add cosmetics as one. They have a consumer goods one as well. You saw consumer electronics one as well. I know they have a luxury goods and jewelry one too. And we'll also add apparel and fashion. Now there's some other ones on there that we could add. They have a long list, and you can comb through here and select for whatever list you're trying to build in that specific industry. But just keep in mind that it might not be 100% accurate. And when you do download the list, you definitely want to comb through it, specifically if you're doing an ABM targeted campaign. So we selected our industries here, and we're down to 964 different companies. So it's condensed a lot, and you can see how targeted and specific you can really get. Now, if that number for you is too small and you want to pull a list that's 2, 3, 4,000 for whatever reason, then you can go in here and you can add more industries, or you can consider increasing the employee count that you're capturing or the revenue as well. Next thing I'll show you that's a big help is technologies. Now, this is going to essentially show whatever technology you select here, it's going to show the companies that use these technologies. Now, I don't know exactly how Apollo gets this data. They might scrub the website somehow and see what technologies are synced into their website or what platform is hosting their website. But from my experience, it is pretty accurate. Now, since we're going after e-commerce brands, the technologies I want to select are going to be e-commerce platforms. So let's type Shopify. Let's do BigCommerce as well. And let's do WooCommerce. There's many more you can select. Some other good ideas if you're going after companies that are selling products on their website is you can do some of the buy now, pay later. So you can add Stripe, you can add Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay, and so on. And again, any other tools that are generally associated with an e-commerce brand on their website, you can add those in as well. So now that we've done that, we've condensed our list down to 630. Buying intent. This is a relatively new tool that Apollo has came out with in recent years. And I don't know exactly how they're tracking this or getting these metrics, but buying intent tools is something that you see used a lot in ABM campaigns. You see it in tools like demand base at larger companies, where it's using different metrics to track the buyer intent score of a specific company or individual, usually based off of retargeting efforts or certain web pages they tend to visit, things they search, etc. I can almost guarantee you, since our list is very small already, if I click high and medium, there's not going to be many people that show up here, right? So we have 77. Now, if you want to take that further, you can say, okay, show me the individuals with high and medium buyer intent that are also researching or have intent around digital marketing services or SEO services, or maybe they're looking up PPC as well. And you can select those things. And we have a list of 70 here as well. Again, not sure exactly how accurate or up to date those metrics are, where they're getting them from, but very cool tool and definitely worth trying out from an ABM standpoint. The other thing I want to show you too under this industry tab are company keywords. If you're trying to pull a list based off of specific industries, and let's say it's not as accurate as you would like it, or maybe you put a bunch of industries in here and the list is too small, instead of doing this, you can come in here and you can try industry keywords. Now, again, if you scroll all the way to the right, you can see the keywords that are associated with some of these brands. So a lot of them don't have keywords there, but you'll see on some of them, handmade eyewear, fashion, women's clothing, sustainability, swimwear, outdoor products, etc. So if you have a list of keywords or products or things like that where you want to put all of those in there instead, definitely recommend it. It's worth a shot to kind of see which is going to generate the best list for you. Outside of that, there's a couple other filters I want to show you guys. Again, scores, owners, territories, funding. Those are things I'm not going to get into today. They're more sales team oriented and really preference. It's 100% not filters or fields that you need to use at all. But what I will show you is at the bottom, if you click more filters, you get a whole bunch more filters over here. Again, not all of these are important. I'm only going to point out a few. Number one is sync to Salesforce. If you are using Apollo and it is synced to your Salesforce, if that is your CRM, there's a few things you can do here. If you're looking to retarget individuals who are already in Salesforce, for a number of reasons, maybe you recently added them, maybe you had a first meeting with them and they fell off, maybe they were on an old marketing campaign, you can go in here and if you click yes, everybody that's on your list that you just created, it will only show the individuals that are in Salesforce. And on the opposite side, if you want to make sure that nobody in Salesforce is on your list, maybe you want to build a fresh list and you don't want to contact somebody accidentally that another sales rep is already talking to, you can click no and it will do that. It will remove everybody from that list that's in your Salesforce. The second thing I'll show you that's really helpful is job changes. So when you put together your list, you can select contacts who have changed jobs recently. And then furthermore, you can go into here and you can say, hey, I want to see only the individuals in this list that have changed jobs and that have only been in their new role for 3 months or 6 months or a year. This is really helpful for targeting different individuals after they've changed jobs to get ahead and reach out to them when they might be evaluating a new tool or making some operational changes where they would consider whatever you're bringing to the table as an option. And let's say you're all good. You ran through all those filters. You're happy with what you're seeing on your list. It looks like the right people. So you go here, you select this more options button. The best way to do this is you look at your total, right? Our total is 70. So you're going to go here and you're going to always put that total number at the top. So 70. And then if your list is really large, what I highly recommend is so you can get the most out of your list and not have 10 people from the same company take up space on your credits. You always want to go in here, and I always recommend putting 2 or 3 in this box, which basically will say, out of this list of 70, don't include more than 3 people at the same company on this list. Again, this is much better if your list is 3, 4, 5,000 individuals. Typically, if your list is 500 or less, I would just go here. I would click select all, apply, and then I would export that whole list. Again, if it's 500 or less, I would do that. Ignore all these other things for now. You're going to click export. And then again, you're going to want to check export verified emails only, and you're going to click save. If the list is small enough, sometimes it'll download the CSV right here and you can click download. But if not, it's going to send you an email to your inbox. Usually with larger lists, it can take 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most, and then you're done. So that's it. Now you know how to build targeted, segmented lead lists on Apollo and all the different filters that you can include in there. I hope that helped. Give me a subscribe below if you want to see more content around marketing operations tools.